You're listening to Click Naija Internet Radio, a conversation about trending, topical, and political issues. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch us live on Click Naija.
Hello and welcome to Women Realities on Click Naija Internet Radio. My name is Ehi Ohiani, and on Women Realities we talk about issues as they have to do with women in Nigeria. Today we're going to be talking about the Nigerian woman and the palliatives. Is she better off? Since the COVID-19 pandemic, we know that the Nigerian woman has been challenged in a very unique way. But the government of Nigeria and different organizations, individuals and the private sector, including international organizations, came to support, to give what we now know as palliatives. So, post the 2020 COVID-19 palliatives, is the Nigerian woman much more empowered, or is she worse off? We want to look at all these issues. How well did the Nigerian woman benefit, and how did this affect her? On Women Realities today, I have Dr. Jophia Gupar. She's the National Coordinator of Civil Society Emergency Intervention Group and the Pan-African Young Women Development Initiative. Dr. Jophia, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you very much, Ehi. Good morning.
So, you were very much involved in the process of the distribution of the palliatives in Nigeria, specifically in FCT. How much gender thinking do you think went into the planning of distribution of palliatives?
Well, we as civil society noticed from Mr. President's broadcast before the first lockdown, we noticed three things. One, the Women Affairs Ministry was not carried along. The Youth Development Ministry was not carried along. And then the civil society too were not carried along. And you know, what is the duty of the civil society? Our work is humanity, and we are now faced with a situation that has to do with humanity, and we don't have to sit down and wait for government to call us, and then we took the move, because we are a group that have been working right from the time of HIV/AIDS, Ebola, and then now COVID-19. So we called together and we sat down and we said, okay, we need to move in.
So you're saying that you had to call yourself in
together?
To the
Yes.
picture.
No, we didn't wait for government to call us. But like at the FCT, I think gender was paramount, because women, youth were part of the committees, which was headed by the FCT Minister of State, Dr. Ramatu Tijani, and of course, and like in the FCT.
So if you say there was gender thinking in the planning, specifically for the FCT, what would you refer to as the actions that show that gender thinking? That it went to the households or that it went to women? What was the practical reality of that?
Yeah, because most of the receivers of these palliatives are the women at home. In fact, we even had some reports where some households, when you go in there, you find out that you have more than one family in the, you know, like all this family setting. You see maybe about 3, 4, 5 families living together.
So the assumption is that a household has one family in it, but when you went to the field, you found that some households had 8 families.
Yeah. So instead of maybe let's say in a family that is supposed to have only one portion, you know, we decided to maybe make it up to 4. You know, a family that has about maybe a house that have about 8 families, we just give them.
So do you think that was a problem, targeting it at households rather than?
Well, you know, it was a problem. It was still ongoing, you know, collecting data of families, you know, so that in case of future interventions, it will be very easy for us to reach out to people.
So the palliatives were meant at different levels to contribute to strengthening the resilience and coping capacity of some of the most affected households, including vulnerable female-headed households and poor women with disabilities. Do you think, have you gone back to check how the palliatives have actually improved or not improved the coping capabilities of these
but
women?
you see, let me tell you, no matter the amount of palliatives that were being given, it can only solve an immediate need. And definitely, these are some of the things that was discovered, and we have advised the government that what the people, especially the women and the young people, need now is empowerment. Train them in skills and then support them with some funds to be able to go into business so that they will be able to sustain themselves. And I think the federal government, in fact recently, I think about a week or so, the federal government has launched a program for rural women empowerment. Like I monitored the one in Jos, for the flag off. For each state, the federal government wants to empower about 200 and something thousand women. So, and I monitored that for 2 days. Gave few women at the spot 20,000 naira to support their businesses, and then they continued the next day. It was actually going to be a cash transfer to their individual accounts, but then we now discovered that most of them, they don't have bank accounts. We asked them to identify banks that are in their various local government that is accessible for them, so that they can open their bank accounts.
So why do you think, and globally we also have reports that show how the burden of care and the burden of increased even during this lockdown? Why do you think that the financial inability of the woman, drives households directly into poverty? Why do you think that?
Because when the woman is not empowered, she is the burden carrier of the home. She is the burden carrier of the family. She is the burden carrier of the community. So when you don't empower a woman, what do you expect? So it is advisable that the government, in whatever interventions in this particular time they have for the country, they have for the people, honestly, out of 100%, 70% consideration should go to the women to ensure that the family is stable, the family is okay. The woman interacts with all kinds of characters, good and bad, is the woman. So if you want result, if this government wants result, it's the women that gave birth to these young people.
How much results do you think has been gotten, not just in the FCT now, generally, in terms of the palliatives and how it has helped to either make the lives of women better or not?
Well, for me, I would say they try, but for me, again, they didn't try much.
Why would you say that?
Yes, I would say that because right from the onset, right from the beginning, when these issues of intervention for the masses or for the public was being conceived, a woman representative should be there, because we also discovered in the course of this distribution that some people's need, the palliative they need, is not even the food. Some, the palliative they need is some little money for them to buy their BP drugs. Yes, it's as bad as that. So if the women were being carried along right from the onset, what we are experiencing today, we shouldn't have experienced it. Because even at the cost of the distribution, if not that some of us bulldoze our ways into it, maybe I wouldn't have been here talking about it. we ensure that we became a voice. Well, even places where they don't want us to enter, I make sure we bulldoze our ways there.
So women eventually were now brought in by the government. I mean, they were brought in eventually. So what difference did it make? Do you think it actually affected anything that they didn't bring?
Yes, for me it does. It's the women now that can talk to these young people and they will pipe down.
What problems came up as a result of that gap of not carrying women along? I mean, people like you literally had to bulldoze your way into the entire process.
Yes, some of the problems is that had it been women were a part of it, they would have advised government on the best items to buy and then the best way to go about it. And
because right now it looks like the assumption is that everybody wants rice and everybody wants sugar or something like that, because that is what was bought for everybody across board.
Yes, but you see, from distribution, we now discover that some people don't even want the rice. Some will tell you they want beasts. Some will tell you they want gari, because some will tell you that if I collect this rice now, if it finish tomorrow, but when you give them beans, they know what to do with it. They can do moi moi, they can do kose, they can eat it, boil it and eat it like that. So I feel that government should now for any decision, for anything that they want to do for the public, they must involve the mothers, they must involve the women, and then they must involve the young women.
They can play right now in dousing this looting that is going on presently.
Yeah, they can, because they can be able to reach out to communities, because
will they really listen? If
they
can't listen to the police. No. We saw people overpowering police.
Already the young people have issues with the police,
but they don't have issues with their mothers.
They don't have issues with their mothers. They don't. Honestly, they don't have issues. And if government will really listen to us, they should carry the mothers along in decision making. Because the mothers will always go back home and gather these young people.
So do you think the Nigerian woman is better now or not? Post-palliative.
Post-palliative, honestly, she's not better. But she is trying on her own to be better. And I pray that the government, should involve more women, should give more women the opportunity to help the society.
All right, so that is it on Women Realities here on Click Naija. Thank you very much, Dr. Jophia Gupar, the National Coordinator, Civil Society Emergency Intervention Group, and the founder of Pan-African Young Women Development Initiative. We've been speaking with her and she's been giving us insights. We'll be here again next time with another very, very interesting issue that concern us as women and of course the entire society. My name is Ehi Ohiani. Special thanks to Ene Kenyawe and Hafsat Isa for their support. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you for your time. You can drop your comments and suggestion and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Click Naija. We're also on Twitter at Click Naija 1.